Boom. We are alive, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tio and the Arcane Bear. I have a wonderful guest to you today. A bunch of you have probably already seen this, but the Kings of Leon have just recently dropped some NFTs. I saw it on the Rolling Stone, CNBC, and pretty much every news outlet out there. Josh Katz is the CEO and founder of Yellowheart.io, the group that helped Kings of Leon launch. And that's what we have for you today. Josh, drop in. How you doing?
Awesome. Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I had a great time chatting with you the other day, kind of before all this news dropped. And you're a very eclectic individual, and that's one of my favorite things. So maybe let's just do the same thing we did last time. Just start by telling me, tell me a story, Josh.
My story. Okay. So, my story begins as the ultimate music fan, as a, promoter in college, doing at the time rock shows and what they called raves, throwing lots of them in upstate New York, and then transitioning into the music biz in New York City, working at Jive Records, with like artists like Tribe Called Quest, KRS-One. Cool Hip Hop is why I went there, but eventually I'm working with Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys on those types of records. And after that, it was a cool experience for I did it for almost a decade. Then I left, and I actually started a company called EL Media. We became the largest background music provider. Do you know Muzak, like elevator music?
Yeah, yeah, we were talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so I started a company that actually put good music, not elevator music, into like hotel lobbies and restaurants and retail stores and all those types of places. And we pretty much pioneered like DJ driven cool music, while you dine and all that. So I did that for a number of years, from over a decade, built that company, had a great time doing it, and we had a real cultural center in New York of an office. It was filled with tons of DJs that worked for us that by day would spin mixes for Nobu and all these cool brands. And by night, like they were also DJing in these like hot like clubs and lounges and restaurants. And it was a culture pit, especially come like evening, like restaurateurs and celebs and DJs and just cool shit going on. And we always like, or at least I did, like encourage the hustle. Like I wanted the hustle to happen, and people were throwing parties and selling sneakers and doing all types of cool shit all the time. And at some point crypto comes in, right? So of course it only took about a minute for us to catch that bug. It was probably like 2016ish. And later that year, early 17, we ended up actually selling that business. And I was all in on crypto. It was 2017, and crypto was just exploding. And like I was so addicted at that point. And, it got interesting. So I started, I had an office space, and I basically brought a bunch of people in that were trading and mining and had like all this activity kind of going on like 24/7 in my space in New York City. And I had like a fast, deep education, and realized that blockchain technology that underlied all of these cryptos was super powerful, and understood what the potential was around programmable contracts and around the ability to, get rid of middlemen. And when I looked at blockchain 1.0 applications, because I knew the public would kind of have to be eased into this, I said, wow, there's some industries that really, fit this use case perfectly. And one of them that jumped out at me was live event ticketing. Live event ticketing is an industry with a rampant middleman population who also are rent seeking. They hurt the fans. They don't help the artists. Frankly, they just stand in the way of the fan experience and have been a hindrance for a long time. And the more I dug into it, I realized that the bands, the teams, the artists were not getting the money. There was this huge industry. It was 11.5 billion in 2019 just in the US. And like I said, wow, okay, I'm the biggest music fan ever. I go to all live shows. I'm a huge Fish head. Like they're my favorite band. But I love all music. I love all music. I go to see live music constantly, and especially when it comes back. But I thought the fans were getting screwed. And I said, you know what? This tech could be applied. We could control the ticketing. We could issue tickets as NFTs. And Yellow Heart was born. And we began in the ticketing space.
Um, so, obviously the amount of live shows since COVID has started has dwindled. Um, w- what was the pivot moment like from focusing specifically on live ticketing to the NFT sector in general? And how did the story with the Kings of Leon kind of come about for you?
Okay, well, I'm going to take that in two parts. Let me talk to you about the NFT part. Okay. So, yeah, I started Yellow Heart in 2017 with the notion of, creating programmable contracts as tickets and putting them out on a public chain and allowing for free trade and fair market trade with transparency. So essentially, when we actually went to engineer and build Yellow Heart in the beginning of 18, we realized that should do the tickets as NFTs. So our tickets are actually NFTs. So Yellow Heart is what I'd call a commercial grade NFT mint and wallet system, where it's as robust as it comes. Plus, we have non-crypto user interfaces. So we can mint not 30 collectibles, which of course we can do, but we also can mint 300,000 Coldplay tickets or Kings of Leon tickets, all with individual art or multimedia drilled down to a single ticket, drilled down to a section. This was, as I said, the UI on that was made for ticketing, but the underlying IP allows us to mint massive amounts of NFTs, have them all customized in either in groupings or down to a single NFT, put all types of data, put redeemables, put keys in there to open experiences, do all types of very innovative things in the NFT space. So to answer your question, we've been building NFT mints and wallet systems since 2018. What happened was we were in beta to launch Yellow Heart ticketing in June of last year, and we were starting our beta in March, and COVID hit. And we're like, holy shit, like there's no more live shows. Like we're going out of business. We're a ticketing tech startup. Oh my God. All along, our team knew that NFTs and digital collectibles, clearly coming from the video game space, and what we knew what was going on with OpenSea and these other markets was going to happen. We just assumed we'd introduce it through the participants' children in our tickets. Because when we went to like Live Nation and some of these other major ticketing companies and some of our partners and explained digital collectibles, it was like this was a year or two ago. I mean, they could not understand anything we were talking about. They thought we were nuts. They're telling me, if we wanted to sell digital collectibles, we would. I was just, I'd be like, okay, I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. But now people do. But at the end of the day, we had always had that plan to sell them in our tickets, just as, Bonnaroo Festival poster, Yankee commemorative in the ticket, digital in your wallet. You'll have your collectibles next to your tickets and, in the Yellow Heart wallet. So sorry to keep going here, but like last summer, suddenly the NFT market just started popping in Asia. And we had been down and out as a company at Yellow Heart, actually. We had been taken out because of ticketing. Our people who were financing us stopped financing us. We had furloughed employees. Okay. And yet we're all partners, and we started speaking and we're like, wow, holy crap. Some guy just sold a doodle for 3 ETH like last night. We're like, when we're watching at like the spring, summer is like the NFT collectible market starts popping as a group. And we're like, okay, like we have all this built already. We just basically need a marketplace. Yet let's do more than that. We don't want to be nifty. We want to build stuff for musicians, creators, artists, so they can monetize direct to their fan base. So we started going deep. And we started building a product that we're going to put out in the very near future. I'm not going to talk about release date now, but one day it will be here, and very soon. That's going to allow creators and artists to memorialize their rights on the blockchain, to put out their content, the same way Kings of Leon is, and to own it in perpetuity and monetize on it in perpetuity. So to kind of bring it full circle, our ticketing product is done, but on hold for live events to come back. We now have an NFT music product that works with it, all with the same wallet system, that's going to come out in a few weeks, say. We're not really, we're not going to announce a date, except maybe we'll talk to you about it actually, but like, you know what I mean? And we're going to really enable artists now to start monetizing and keeping all of their money, not only for tickets, but also for their content. So, and then I can get into the Kings if you want.
Yeah, so I think, a big part of this right now too, and I don't understand, I barely understand finance. Like this new sector exploding in front of me. I've been so focused on protocols, and I've had a lot of friends try to get me to focus more on the NFT sector. And one of the reasons why I want to have these conversations is because I just only have so much bandwidth. The easiest way is to communicate with other people and let them kind of help fill in the gaps. So I think what's important about the Kings of Leon is the story. And I think the two partners on Yellow Heart you have as well are from the Chain Smokers as well, which is a fairly well-known well-known musical act. Yeah, tell us what it was like trying to communicate this idea of digital collector's items and these kind of one-off community experiences, because it's obviously, I think, extremely valuable for the artist. And as a secondary point too, when I've gone to see live shows, I'm a huge fan of Tool. You get like this like one of the specific posters that was from that show. People love that stuff. Um, so I can definitely see how the tickets and the integration of the collector's item after you've purchased like even a general row ticket, you might have an art piece that's gone with it. You tell us what it was like, I guess, communicating with some of these bands, and how many of them caught on, and why do you think Kings of Leon jumped in?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, for as long as I could remember, I've been trying to explain this tech to the artist community. Alex and Drew from Chainsmokers are partners in Yellowheart, as is their manager, Adam Alpert. And they're terrific, and they've been a great mouthpiece. They fully understand the tech and how it works and everything about it. So they've been a great asset to Yellowheart to get into the artist community and let them understand that they need to pay attention to this over the years. But the truth is that before the music stopped with COVID, everyone was making a lot of money, and when things aren't broken, why fix them, right? Now we have the chance to redo things. So after COVID hit and everyone didn't know what the hell to do because we're off the road and the money machine stopped, people actually started taking my calls. And last summer, I started speaking with a group of various artists: Portugal the Man, Kings of Leon, Chainsmokers, a bunch of others you'll find out about soon, who got it. Portugal the Man's manager and Kings of Leon's manager, Andy Mendelson, Rich Holtzman, Rich for Portugal, Andy for Kings of Leon, two of the smartest, most progressive music managers ever. They fully grasped it, and we began the creative process. And we are Night After Night, who did the creative process for Kings of Leon. This is not, this is someone who has been a longtime collaborator of the band, has done album covers and tour art and t-shirts, and they're the fabric of this band. So those people understood that what we were creating here were art pieces. These were one of a kind art pieces that, for the first time, because of this incredible technology that Yellowheart has, would enable them to create true traceable one-of-one collectibles. So their fans are going to really benefit in something that they could collect, that will hold value, is awesome. I mean, they look sick. They're so cool. And they'll live in your wallet, and they're just amazing. And then the access, with the record being there, they really caught on, and we went to work. And the creative process around creating these NFTs was like, you're talking months and months of works and iterations in the band. And when you see the narrative, when we kind of reveal it's an hour and a half until the reveal right now, actually, you're going to see how these NFTs are made, and your mind's going to be blown. Between the artist collaboration of the actual musician, stems from the music to the art and how that art was created. It's going to be mind blowing. I'm not going to just drop the reveal until it comes out, though. So
Might be coming out after the reveal, technically, by the time I get to post it. So you could probably share it if you'd like.
as I said, I don't want to get like all into the
Yeah, yeah.
details of like all the reveal. I like people to just kind of go check it out, and I want people to recognize we are Night After Night. KC, like, these are some of the most talented artists I've ever met, and they've been collaborating with the members of Kings, forever on everything, including their iconic cherry logo. The cherry logo is to the Kings what the tongue is to the Stones. And there's a whole bunch of plays on that in the collection, just to give you an example. And what
Nice.
they've done with it in the NFT space is mind blowing. I'm like, I can't wait for people to see it. And I want to let the artist talk about the art, because I'm not the artist.
Yeah, fair enough. So with the launch of these ideas, I think one of the main ones is community interaction. Even here at the Arcane Bear, we've been playing around with some of the DeFi stuff just because of the way we can interact with our community. We have an Arcane Bear token that we give away, and people can use it to redeem for different things. And when I first started giving them away, people loved it. They're like, "Oh my God, I have a bear token." There is this really in-depth relationship between creators and the community that support those creators. When Kings of Leon is launching today, I didn't see this in the Rolling Stone. Are they launching I saw, I think it was Shawn Mendes released a bunch of kind of one-off collector's items.
Yeah,
Are they
cool.
releasing them on OpenSea as well, or is it on the Yellow Heart app specifically?
Yeah. So, we are Yellowheart is minting, but we decided that we thought it was important to sell on OpenSea. So the sale will open tomorrow at 12 Eastern on OpenSea. They're the OGs. Alex is the man. He's the original. I thought it was important we paid homage to them. They're an important part of our community, and the sale will be on OpenSea.
Awesome. And when things go on sale tomorrow, what are the what type can you tell us what type of experiences there are? Can we get a little bit of a heads up on what's going to be
Yeah,
there?
sure. So essentially, we have the album NFT. The album NFT will be the first record ever on NFT. It's going to be available for 2 weeks in the NFT format, which is like this unbelievable NFT, digital work that you'll own one of, and an original one too on the blockchain. Within that, there's also a download of the record that you'll own. So you'll actually own the record. It's not on a streaming service, and and it's also redeemable if you want to do the redemption. It's also resaleable without the redemption. That's going to be up to the original owner for a Kings of Leon piece of vinyl, exclusive, limited edition. And the vinyl is ridiculous. It's so sick looking. And so that's one piece. Then we have some open editions that range in price. I'm not going to give the whole reveal right now, but they range in price from $95 up to $2,500. And then we have our golden tickets, and the golden tickets, we're minting 18 of them. These are the most unbelievable artworks by We Are Night After Night in collaboration with Kings of Leon. I mean, as artistic as you could become, in the intersection of digital art, physical art, music. These artists, this crew at Night After Night, Casey, his team, the guys in the band, Andy Mendelson, the King's manager, these guys collaborated for months and months as this new album was coming out on what is the visualization of it. What does represents the Kings on a visual level? And so much thought and work has gone into this. It's insane. Like, this is not like doing a poster printing. This is just like creating a great work that's gonna, like someone like Warhol doing 18 works in his studio and deciding, what, I'm gonna sell these 6, and these other 12 I'm gonna just stick in my vault. So they're incredible artworks. With those 6, or really with all 18 of them, technically all of those works, also comes a key to unlock an experience with the Kings of Leon. So when you actually own the piece, and whoever the owner is at that time, because this is tradable, through all of these marketplaces, you will have front row tickets, four front row tickets to any Kings of Leon show on any tour, anywhere in the world, for life, forever. And let me finish. I'm sorry. There's more. Not only do you get to go first row with 4 tickets to any show, you also get the most ultimate VIP experience. You have a driver that night. You have a concierge meet you. You have your own VIP room with pretty much whatever you want in there, catering, booze, everything. You'll hang out with the band and meet them before the show and chill with them. When you leave, the SUV will have 4 duffel bags in the back with 4 of every single item from the merch booth. And it's the most unbelievable package alone. And the whole point of the package is to introduce Yellow Heart Ticketing and Kings of Leon to give this to their fans. And I'll get into why that tech is important in a second around the ticketing part. I don't want to take it away from the art and the Kings of Leon, because that's really what this focus is about.
Yeah, we kind of saw some of the early stages of this. I'm a big fan of Radiohead, and when Radiohead first produced their, I think it was maybe it was in Rainbows, where they said you can pay nothing or you can pay as much as you want, and they ended up producing more revenue by having this multi-option relationship with their community, because people are really driven to find like the support of the artists that they're excited about. So I really love how, again, this supports the artists' interests as well, over top of the music industry. It's having a
Well,
lot of
more than
middlemen.
that, I'll tell you something. So Andy Mendelson, the Kings manager, and I, it was super important to us that there was a big charity component to this. And since these are tickets, we are donating the proceeds of actually the record sale and one of the golden tickets to Crew Nation, who is all the out of work crew workers for live events.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, the community is so important. I think people
But
have,
that's the community I wanted to hit, the guys that actually make shit happen every day, not the guys that, bullshit and say they do.
yeah, they're again, this relationship between the artists and the community, whether it's the people that are helping them put on the shows, or the people that are sitting in the front row, or just the general section, that change of, I guess they called it the direct to consumer. I would prefer direct to community relationship here is of so much more valuable than we could have given when we were selling albums for just $20. Like, you just get an album with the art for $20. Having this option for all these different styles of collectors, or these golden tickets, as you're saying, I think is such a brilliant idea, again, for both the artists and the community that support them. I'm really excited to see it make headwind here.
Could I dig a little deeper into
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Because
please do.
it's
You've been
important.
you've been spending more time here than I have. That's why you're here, Josh.
Yeah, no, I want your community to understand this. So like why we built Yellowheart. Like Yellowheart was built for the fans and the artists. That's it. Period. End of story. So like we want the artist to have a direct relationship with the fan, and the fan a direct relationship with the artist. You can opt in and work for your artist as much as you want, just be a fan. I mean, there's all different levels of fandom, but that's why Yellowheart was built. So the Kings of Leon example of 4 front row tickets, like the ultimate VIP package, is just like the pinnacle example. The way that Yellowheart's going to work when concerts come back is you're going to opt in to see Radiohead, and Radiohead's going to know who you are. So when they come to your town, we're going to just give you tickets, dude. We're going to, hey, do you want to buy them, bro? Do you need a shirt? Do you need a ride? Like, we want you like to have a symbiotic relationship, and Yellowheart's going to, allow you to pay Radiohead, and Radiohead to like give you a ticket, and it's going to be really simple. And when they put out new music, they'll do it too in Yellowheart and make it as creative as they want around whether it's a million NFTs that are $1 each, or whether they're 18 of them that go at auction. I mean, it's really going to be a matter of that artist and how they want to work with their fan, and how creative of a package they want to deliver to their fan. But the whole point of Yellowheart is to create a direct fan artist relationship without middlemen.
Yeah, it's super important. I think just before we jumped on this call the other day as well, we looked at 3Lao, who had offered one of these packages
Uh,
where they did a where they
yeah,
wrote a custom song or something like this as one of the tops, and I think it's bidded for $3 million or something.
I want to talk about that. Okay, this is really, really important. Okay, so Blau is his name, Justin Blau.
Okay,
Blau,
nice,
DJ.
nice. Thank you for helping correct me.
He is he is the king of the NFT world. He is the pioneer. He's my soul. He's my man. We talk all the time. I was texting with him this morning. He did an auction with a company called Origin. These guys are brilliant, brilliant company. You should check out as well. That they did their own auction, and it got pumped up. They brought in 11.7 million for 33 works last Saturday night. They are pioneers of this movement, and I want to be clear to this community that these guys are pioneers. And Justin Blau is the man. He is the guy that has ideated so much of this stuff, has been a voice of this community, has been championing it, has been out there shouting to the world, pay attention, has been deep in projects. This guy has been in the code. He's the creative force. He's making shit happen every day in this community. And the thing that I wanted to, like, I think that's so important is there's been so many people that in the crypto world, in the blockchain world, we like, you're part of it, man. We've been working at this shit for years. We've been at it for years. Just like it's great that people started paying attention in the last month. I'm psyched about it because I think it's the right tech. But Blau has been at this forever. He's the man. He's the guy that is the face of this movement. And like, let's be clear about that. He's the guy.
Yeah, there's always those leaders and those pioneers who help push things
Yeah.
forward, and I think this is one of those kind of obvious use cases, especially with content creators from any type of genre, whether it's artistic or YouTubers or music. It's just this new relationship between the creators and the community. And we've had so many middlemen in there. I mean, you've got Instagram, Facebook, all these people who try to put themselves in between that relationship and take advantage of it. That this, again, this direct community relationship with how you launch your products and how you create things for your community, I think is extremely underrated right now. And this is just the kind of the breaking point where once a few people catch on and having, I mean, Kings of Leon are a huge name. I was listening to their album this morning, and the model I had over was singing along. She doesn't even
Such a
speak
good
English.
record, by the way. Record's ridiculous. I mean, that's the one thing, guys, as fans, I must tell you, like so many incredible artists have had more time than ever to actually work on their next record. And like the music that's going to start coming out is going to be the best music we've heard in so long. It's not like no more rushed albums anymore, you know, in
Yeah,
between tours.
there's actually a year of hard work time
Like,
to sit down.
let's go back to that track from 4 months ago, you know, you know, it's just like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know the Chainsmokers have a new record coming. I haven't heard it, but I'm sure it's going to be ridiculous. So
When you were chatting with Kings of Leon and their managers, what are some of the other ideas that didn't necessarily hit the table
yeah.
that you think are really valuable as well? Because I know you can only
So
put so much in for each bandwidth movement.
yeah. All right. So the Kings of Leon's manager, Andy Mendelsohn, is a visionary guy. This is somebody that has idea after idea and knows how to execute. He knows what he wants. He's a pioneer. The guy thinks outside the box. He's just is like, I can't explain enough like the kind of thinker that Andy is. So lots of ideas nonstop. And as a company, we have some great people that work at Yellow Heart. I want to shout out Thomas Emmanuel, one of the OGs of the NFT and crypto space. He's our chief product officer. He, you know, over in Puerto Rico. You know, Thomas kind of put the package together with me, and we kind of were able to, you know, Andy is a force, and we were able to really take his vision and bring it in and put together the right package and the whole thought process around the package is, what do the fans want? This is for the fans, period, end of story. The Kings of Leon, Andy Mendelsohn, they wanted this out for their fans. They wanted to do something special for their fans after being on the sidelines for a year and like watching this all start to happen. Andy knows what's up. He's been talking to me a lot. He's been watching the stuff. He's been wanting to learn. So he saw that this was real and he got it early. He was an early guy to understand it, and he stepped up and we put together an amazing package. But he had endless ideas. I mean, this guy had, forget about it. He's got so much going on up there.
Well, so one of the things that I think is interesting is that this may, you know, this is probably going to attract a lot more people to the blockchain, crypto sector, NFTs in general, people that may have never and may still not yet be interested in things like Bitcoin or any of the underlying technologies. What are some of the hurdles that we have in terms of UI or UX interface for the non-crypto head like myself to be able to play in these
Yeah.
ecosystems? I know, you know, OpenSea, for instance, I know I can take the bear token that we have and you could buy an Arcane Bear NFT just because of how interchangeable this stuff is. But I already have a fairly high degree of understanding of how MetaMask works. What are some of the boundaries we have in a way for that, like the average person to get in and use this stuff to partake in the ecosystem?
You know, I'm glad you're asking that. You know, in the case of the Kings of Leon, people need to go to OpenSea. If you have a MetaMask, you know, obviously you know how to buy on OpenSea. If you don't, you just set up an account. It's kind of pretty traditional the way you set up an account on any website, but you're basically setting up a MetaMask account. You're using your credit card to buy some crypto, which will be awesome. Because I think everyone wants to buy crypto. This is a really easy way to do it and super safe way to do it. I mean, no one's better than OpenSea. And then you go in and you buy, you know, one of the King's items, buy the album, and that's it. It's a really simple flow. You're basically setting up an account, a credit card. You get your crypto, you use your crypto to buy your collectible. Then now you have a MetaMask wallet. Now you're in the crypto game. Now you own a collectible that's sitting in your wallet, and things can get fun. And you can play on OpenSea. Maybe you'll want to buy more than Kings of Leon on an OpenSea. Maybe you'll want to trade your Kings of Leon one day. I hope not, but you know, I think these are going to be crazy collector's items for anyone that buys them. I really do. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty easy flow. Yellow Heart system. Let me speak about that. Since we were building for so many years, and we built in stealth for 2 of those years, you know, kind of no sign on the door, if you know what I mean. And we built non-crypto user interfaces. We have a whole bunch of patents pending, and we have a lot of, you know, stuff that we built to allow for non-crypto users to work in the space. So our ticketing system allows for, people to use NFT tickets, but the actual users use the same interfaces they use every day on every single thing they do. They have no idea any crypto is ever happening. The new music interface or protocol that we're coming out with in a few weeks, those are all non-crypto user interfaces. So you could, of course, connect your any wallet you want, your MetaMask, your anyone you want, but you don't have to. You could also have a traditional account and hold crypto in a way that, through a third party, by the way, and you'll see who at the time, in a way that is more attractive to a traditional user to get them onboarded into the crypto universe that we live in. The removal of hexadecimals, the removal of, things of that. I'm not going to get into the other proprietary stuff that we've built, but you get the point.
Yeah, and just while we're there, be careful with your seed phrases if it's your first time using MetaMask. Make sure those are written down somewhere safe and secure, because that's basically your wallet, not the wallet itself. One of the next thoughts I had is kind of around the information sharing aspect. For instance, say I have a collector's piece, like I'm a big fan of Basquiat's art. Although I don't own any of Basquiat's art, I love his style. I'm a huge fan of the work that he does. Are we going to see music players that are the only way to read particular versions of these tracks so that they can't be transferred outside? Or is it mostly the collector's art, do you think, that will be the renowned aspect of these pieces? Like, is there a transfer of like, if I give you the album, I can no longer listen to it type of thing coming?
Maybe. I want to see what the fans want, to be honest with you. And anyone who's listening out there that has thoughts on that, please hit me up on Telegram or Twitter or somewhere. I want to hear about that from the fans. I don't know yet. Right now, music's free for everyone who's got $10 a month, and it's
Yeah.
kind of, it was a race to the bottom for a while, and we're not going to undo that so quickly. We're going to just add value to music again, so fans are getting a valuable package, not just like, oh, you can listen to anything you want now.
Yeah.
But I think that serves its purpose. I mean, trust me, I use the services every day for discovery, to find that album I want to listen to that morning. I mean, it's for everything,
Yeah.
So I think that technology is incredible. I'm thrilled it exists. Let's use it. Will there be exclusive stuff in coins? Of course there will be. What the adoption of that will be, that's up to the fans. It's
Yeah.
up to the artists for how creative they want to get when using our technology. I'm going to lead the horse to water. Whether they drink is up to them. We're gonna give them, the artists, the tools, the creators, the tools to put out these NFTs, and how they use those tools, frankly, are going to be up to them. We're not here to dictate how to use the blockchain.
Yeah, no, I think I've stumbled into something in my own thought there while asking that question too, is with that Radiohead idea, when they were saying, look, you can pay nothing for our album, or you can pay as much as you want, you still saw a large amount of overhead of people willing to pay a lot more, even though they could pay nothing. So there's
Yep.
that level of just give access to everybody, and those who want
Oh my God.
to.
So I'll tell you something that, I really believe that the fans have been long overlooked by the companies. Okay. You have to realize that the fans are true fans, and it's a type of thing that's such a passion. It's so rooted in, who you are as a person. And it comes from such a deep place that's so intrinsic and real. And the fans want to pay the artist for their works. They want to thank the artist. They want to tip the artist. They want them to have their money because they're giving them joy. They're giving them peace. They're giving them a path. They're giving them inspiration. They're giving them all the things that art is. And fans want to pay the artist for art. The problem is that these companies have been in the fucking way for so long. And like, the fans and the artists need to just step the fuck up already. And I'm providing the tools. Guys, get on board. I mean, we're ready to go. Let's get these guys out of the way already.
Yeah, yeah, I think we're in for an exciting time in terms of the way these communities start interacting with one another. Well, Josh, this is fantastic. I'm super excited to see how their launch goes in the next 24 hours. Did you say?
Yeah, yeah, yep. Friday
This,
at noon, so we'll go on sale. But listen, you guys, these are incredible art pieces. It's the record, amazing vinyl, redeemable in the token. The tokens are incredible as art collector pieces. They're legacy pieces. First rock band to do this. I want to make clear, Blau was the first artist to do this. You know, this is the first new album to do it. But like, you know, this is a really cool thing, and it's for the fans. So I hope the fans just want to go support it and get in. And I hope it also leads a lot more people into the space that we're in. Got, you know,
Yeah.
this is such an awesome space.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big upsides too, is that you're going to
Yeah,
find people that after all of this, they may not have any interest in the blockchain sector aside from their new relationship with the artists. And that's a great function
yeah,
for, let's say, mainstream adoption in this sector, and probably a rush to try to build UI and UX that's
that would be
a
awesome.
bit more
Any,
user friendly.
anyone listening out there, please build UI UX that, you know, makes it easy to use blockchain. I'm building it. I've been building it for years, and it's a lot of it you're going to see soon. But like that's key to this tech adapting. And let's go, guys. We're a community here.
Yeah, well, I guess one of my last questions before we kind of dive off today's episode, what do you think? So for me, you know, from an art collector's point, from a music collector's point, if I remove the tickets, I just think about art and collector's editions. I know I've never been one to be able to pick that stuff. I'm the furthest from what mainstream finds cool most of the time, and I've almost never gotten that right. Like there are a few times, like, oh, I like Tool, but that's such a niche version of people liking something. You know, they're like a special version of eclectic in
Did we
my
get Me Too? I can't remember.
pardon.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, go on.
So with with my lack of ability to understand what most people find popular, one of the things I've been interested in is like a bank of ownership, like a collection of art pieces that I could have a fractionalized ownership of. And that's one of the things I think the NFT world is very unique for, is that say there was an art piece or a basket of art pieces, and I could have a partial ownership,
Mhm.
fractionalized ownership of all these NFTs. What do you see in the way of this kind of bank ownership of collectors items? I don't have to get like one right. I could maybe get a group of these collectors items correct.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it makes perfect sense, and I'm sure people are building it. And yes, absolutely. I mean, I highly would encourage groups to do fractional on any of these Kings pieces. I mean, I think fractional ownership is the way everything's going to work in the future for the businesses that make sense for it
Yeah.
around tokenization. You know, clearly there's real estate and all these other things that people are doing on digital assets. It makes even more sense, of course. It's easy to do. There's some amazing platforms that are doing it. I would love some of those platforms to get involved in the NFTs that we're minting. But fractional ownership around, you know, collectibles in on blockchain would be is, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the part that gets me, just because of my lack of understanding. Like I know
So
my bandwidth is narrowed, so I'm like, okay, well,
your
how do I
bandwidth is
view this?
not narrow, sir. Come on, we've spoken, man. You're come on. So check this out. Like, let's think about this. So these legacy pieces, these beeples, right, that are coming out right now, selling for big money. The major auction houses are paying attention. The traditional guys, let's call them traditional guys, they're paying attention. They're now selling it. They're getting their stupid fees that they shouldn't get either, by the way, guys. And they're, although I guess they have the reach of the customers, but do we really need that reach anymore?
Yeah.
And they're selling this stuff. It could become super, super collectible in years to come. The NFTs, the legacy NFTs, the Beeples, the Blows, the Kings of Leon, the stuff that came super early, these could become the ultimate legacy pieces in the metaverse. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
So fractional ownership of a Beeple or a Kings or a Blow definitely makes sense. I mean, of course it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and then and to bring up the metaverse, for those of you who haven't, read Snow Crash. Like, come on, catch up with the times, guys. Well, Josh, this is great. I'm really excited to see the launch. I think guys have put a great product together, especially because of that relationship between the community and the creator is something I've been interested in. It's why I started a YouTube channel. There's just this direct communication of value, and removing the middlemen, I think, is going to become a common course of action over the years to come. So I'm super grateful for having you on the show today. I look forward to the launch. The links will, whenever they go live, I'll put them in the bottom of this episode down below.
Cool.
The links to Yellowheart will be there as well. Josh, is there any parting words you want to leave with the Bear family today before we dive off today's episode?
I just want to say thank you. I'm a huge fan of yours, as you know, and it's an honor to be here. Anyone that wants to reach out, please hit me up, josh@yellowheart.io. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But I want to innovate, guys. So let's go. You know, thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. Open arms for collaboration, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tia with the Arcane Bear. Give us a thumbs up if you like this content. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. Go to all the links for Yellow Hearts down below and follow them as well for their next drops, which I'm sure are going to be amazing. Josh, thank you for spending your time with us today. I'll keep you on for
you.
just a few minutes afterwards, and then we'll see you guys on the next episode.